So what have you been up to recently? You been busy?
I'm just shooting at the moment, doing a movie called In a Heartbeat, which is a sort of love story, a bit like Last Tango in Paris, intense. I've got to speak a bit of French in it.
Alright, so you're
like a sculptor. I'm trying to, I've been sort of part of this job for about a year, and it's a bit different, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I like to try different things now and again when I get the opportunity to do it. It's getting the opportunity to do it, really. So I'm doing that at the moment. I've just finished a thing called Plebs, which is like a comedy thing. I want to try and go into comedy a little bit more.
Okay.
And it's basically like The In-Betweeners, but set in ancient Rome.
Right, okay.
So, and I play like a herbal tea drinking like gladiator, you know what I mean? It's well out there, man. I think it's going to be hilarious.
Yeah, it's like a role you haven't ever played before.
Well, I've never played a gladiator before, but I'd like comedy. I want to go down that route, you know?
Okay.
It's something that I really want to do, so I'm trying to do as much comedy as I possibly can at the moment.
Danny, tell us a little bit more about your DJing. I believe that you're going to go to Dubai and you've done a few sets in Ibiza.
Listen, it came around about 3 years ago. I never could DJ before. I used to try on the vinyl and stuff when I was a kid, but what it is when you get a bit of celebrities, you get asked to do PAs, which are personal appearances, which means you just get turned up in a club,
Okay.
sit behind a rope, get off your nut, and like have a queue of people having photos with you, which is easy money, but at the end of the day, it starts to chip away at you. And so then I got asked about the DJ thing, and I was a bit like, okay, because you can get more money for it, and also you can sort of like bring something to the party instead of just sitting there in your Santa's grotto and you look like a bit of a prick, to be honest with you.
Yes, understandable.
So I love music. So I got a good friend of mine called Danny Dyer, who's a part of the band called Enjoy. You won't remember that because you're a young kid. He comes to me and we DJ back to back, and he looks after me. Listen, I'm no Cole Cox. You probably wouldn't know that he's either Cole Cox.
No, I've heard of Cole Cox.
You know Cole Cox is?
I've heard of Cole
Cox. Good boy. So, I'm certainly no Judge Jules. You know Judge Jules is, I'm sure.
Of course I do.
But I love music, and so, and I think with these CDJs at the moment, it's not really about mixing, it's just about chucking the right track on.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better, like you say in Ibiza. I did Eden, I've done this Paradise, I've done BCM in Mallorca, which is 4,000 people. It's a buzz, man. It's a buzz. And people come to see me, and I'm playing music, and honestly, I don't want to tread on no DJ's toes, but it's a real buzz in a moment for me. Do you know what I mean? I love it. I want to try and do it for as long as I possibly can.
Yeah, brilliant. Do you feel like the fans have warmed to you over abroad as much as they have done here in England?
I don't know. See, I think I divide people. I think other people get me and they love what I do and they respect me, or they can't stand me. Yeah. I think there's a complete divide down the middle. I am completely like Marmite. I get that. It's like, I'm not trying to change the world. I'm just trying to feed my kids at the end of the day. I feel blessed that I've got a career. I never trained. I come from a working class background. I was brought up in a council estate. It was the only thing I was good at in school. I was shit at everything else. I'm rubbish at anything else. It was something that came very naturally to me, and I've just took this path. You can't really, you can't plan it out. It just happens. All you can do is what's in front of you. And luckily, I've had some great films put in front of me. I've also had some shit. But like I said, I had a kid at 18. I've got to bring kids up. I've got to be, the husband, the loyal fucking, look after them and feed them. And, so as much as you want to make cult films constantly, you can't sit around waiting for the phone to ring. You've got kids to feed. So therefore you have to go off the beaten track a little bit, and go and do other little things. You've got to get the readies in, mate.
Definitely. And do you feel like you've settled down recently? You're not usually playing the hard man character that you were in, so like let's say Football Factory.
I've never really, this is the thing, this is the myth. I've never really played a hard man character. I was in the Football Factory, right?
Yeah, in the Football Factory.
In the Football Factory, I'm a football hooligan, but I'm a football hooligan who's doubting it. I'm a football hooligan, he can have a bit of a tear up, but he thinks he's in the wrong world. He's not part of it, really. You know what I mean? He's having weird dreams and flashbacks, and he feels uncomfortable within that sort of environment, and he can't get himself out of it. Same with the business. I turn up as a kid in the business, and I'm a little bit of a melt. Do you know what I mean? I get wrapped up in a mad world again. It's a bit like a Goodfellas type story, and the drugs and the sex and the crime. I get wrapped up in that, but I'm not really a hard man, innit?
Yeah. It does seem that people do see you as a hard man.
Yeah, but I think that's what you get pigeonholed as, and I think that because of the way I talk and the way I walk, and because I'm from East London, a pretty rough estate, people have assumed I'm some sort of hard man. I've never claimed to be a hard man. I'm not a cunt by any, you know what I mean? Many stretches of imagination, but that's the sort of world they want to put me in. They do the same with Ray Winston, don't they?
Yeah, definitely.
You get pigeonholed, you get put into your little boxes, and that's fine with me. Do you know what I mean? But you don't hear about me rolling about in the streets with people in the papers every week, do you? It doesn't happen.
Definitely not.
Do you know what I mean? But like I said, I'll die for my kids or my family. I'll protect them, but I'm not the mug that stands there giving it a big one. It just don't suit me.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, Danny, in 2007, you started presenting Real Football Factories and Danny Dyer's Deadliest Men.
Yeah.
Is there any more series coming about of that?
No. Like I said, look, it wasn't what I wanted to do, to be honest with you. I did the Football Factory. It was a massive success. On the back of that, this Real Football Factories documentary for Bravo came about, and they offered me a fucking lot of money. Yeah. It was a money thing. I'm not a journalist. I don't really want to talk about hooligans. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
But I got paid 20 times more for the fucking documentary than the film, and that's the reality of it. So, I went off on this mad little fucking trip around the world, talking to hooligans and like getting myself into some mad. I still get death threats from it, to be fair. It's a very tricky, world. They've embraced me and said, "Oh well," or I'm a grass.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm West Ham through and through. And then there'd be other teams that thought I was more of an alliance with them. Like when I went and did the Old Firm derby, like Celtic Rangers. I sat with the Celtic. I couldn't give a fuck for Celtic or Rangers, to be fair. I totally get, what it's about. It's a passionate derby, one of the most passionate in the world. But because I sat with the Celtic, the Rangers obviously had there's no neutral end to sit. I felt the force and the power of the match, you know what I mean? But, it was a tricky thing, but it was a money thing for me. I'm not a journalist, and I don't think it done my movie career any good either, to be fair. People either loved that show or they fucking hated it, and the thing is, when they're attacking the show and they're attacking me as a human being. I can't hide behind a script or a character. It's me as a human being. A lot of it was a lot of bollocks. I ain't gonna lie to you. You got to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. So all this keeping up, down, fucking shit, and all shitting me pants. I was never shitting me pants. You know what I mean? You got to dramatise it and make it lively, and But I can't watch them now. I cringe. I fucking cringe at them, mate.
Do you really watch?
Oh yeah, no, I can't have them around me, mate. But again, I got an ass out of it.
Yeah. Well, Danny, also another question, just relating to the Deadliest Men. Were there times yourself? I mean, you did have to stay in quite, let's say, people you wouldn't want to meet in a dark alley. You have to stay in the house. Was there a point when you were thinking, what the fuck am I doing with this now?
Yeah, of course there was, but not in the respect that I was scared. I just thought, why the fuck are we doing this? What are you going to do? Shoot me wanking in bed? What do you want? What do you want me to do? Pull the quilt over me head and go, was he going to come in and stab me? I just couldn't understand that they wanted me to live their world, of course. But the idea of me sleep, when I did Paddy Doherty, sure, I'll stay on the caravan side of him and I've got a little caravan, that sort of makes sense. But when I'm just staying around geezers' houses, it's a bit fucking weird. Yeah. I thought, you're only going to film me up to a certain point.
Yeah, definitely.
So some of them, I was like, well, when I've done The Mercenary, I've done Motique. I was going to say Al Murray did, Motique. We was out in the woods and, we've got to pretend we're behind enemy lines. It's like, we're not behind enemy lines, mate. We're fucking Weymouth. And I need to get out of it, so that's why I pulled the shit one out. I said, mate, I need to have a shit. He said, well, if he was behind enemy lines, you have to have a shit and a bit of cling film. So I thought, right, mate, and I just said to the director, I ain't having a shit and a bit of cling film. Who the fuck wants to see that? Seriously. So I slipped off, do you know what I mean? But like I said, I met some proper people on it. I've got a few good friends out of it. I know that if I do come on start, I can make some serious fucking phone calls. I'll do that now. But, in general, I couldn't wait to get them done.
Yeah, brilliant. Right, Danny, what we're going to do now is a quick fire round. Answers in a nutshell, really. Yes or no answers. Right. What's your favourite movie?
Probably One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Well, okay. And favourite song?
Fucking hell. It's a tricky one, that is.
You can have a couple.
Favourite song? Ooh. At the moment, I'm banging out a tune called Red Light, Out of Your Head. Banging tune from DJing. Probably old school, so Oasis, Columbia. Greatest rock and roll tune ever.
Is it true that you're doing a stand-up show next year?
No, complete load of bollocks. I don't know where that's come from.
Did you make an investment into Greenwich Borough Football Club?
No, I tried to keep the club there. It was there since 1948. It's the club that Ian White started at, and the council wanted the plot back. They wanted the land back, and the club was claiming squatters' rights. And a good friend of mine, Tam Hassan, he was the he sort of owned the club and stuff, and I tried to do him a favour to get awareness going and get a petition going and, just to try and keep the club there. Unfortunately, the club's gone. They smashed up some flats in 6 weeks, and, it's a sad thing, really, because it was a good little club, Greenwich Borough, really well run. And
it's quite local.
So I just tried to raise a bit of awareness, but it didn't work, bruv. Didn't work. Probably if anything, I fucking hindered it.
Right, did you refuse a role in EastEnders?
No, but I've got to meet with them next week. Don't know what they want to chat with me about, but...
So we might be seeing Danny Dyer.
I don't know, mate. Listen, you can't knock it. Good friends of mine have been in it, Jamie Foreman and stuff, and you know, I just want to see what they've got to say, really. You know, it's a massive show at the end of the day, and I think, you know, I'm flattered that they want to see me, and I'm intrigued to see what they want to talk to me about. So who knows?
Is it true that one day you want to make a Disney film?
I'd love to make a Disney film. I'd like to make a film the kids could watch.
Yeah, brilliant.
Do you know what I mean?
Would you trade all your success to be given number 10 shirt for West Ham in an FA Cup final?
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, but we don't get the full 90.
Yeah, you get full 90. You might get taken off. You might get taken off Ben O'Hean on 75th minute.
No, bollocks. I'm not having that.
Full 90.
I want a full 90. I want to nick the winner. A driving header. 90th minute.
Right, here's another question related to football. Would you prefer an Oscar or West Ham to win Champions League? It's a tough one, isn't it?
Let's go Oscar. Be selfish.
Oscar,
Yeah.
right. Last but not least, this is a bit of an awkward one, really. Were you born in the back of a Ford Fiesta?
Does this come one about you fucking...
Yeah, no, I'm not winding you up. This has come from a couple of websites.
It's come from a couple of websites. It ain't Holy Moly, is it?
No.
Was I born in the back of a full
I'll say that as a no. I'll say that as a no.
That is fucking hell, man. Jesus fucking... Well, let me ask you a question. Do I look like I was born in the back of a full
No, you don't. More of a BMW man.
That's unbelievable.
But yeah, thanks for speaking to us, Danny.
Fuck me, man. I've heard some shit about me. That's a new one on me. I'm fucking feeling it. I'm taking that home with me. My mum is going to love that. My mother's going to fucking love that.
Well, thanks for speaking to us, Danny. You've been brilliant.
Pleasure.
You're a top bloke, mate.
Good luck with it, alright?
Yeah, brilliant. Take care, buddy. Take care.
Top boy.